Older solar panels are often still viable. The way that old toaster you dropped off at the Goodwill is still good for somebody. There just isn't a great Goodwill network for those solar panels to find new homes. Today on the pitch, we're looking at a new venture hoping to change that. Joining me today is Eric Stikes, President and CSO of Good Sun, and Melissa Schmid, Marketing Communication Manager at EnergyBin. So before we dig into how your partnership is diverting solar panels from landfills and finding new homes for them, I wanted you to put the situation into context, Melissa. EnergyBin is a wholesale equipment exchange and recently launched a PV module price index for the secondary solar market. How large is this market right now?
I've been in the solar industry for the past 4 years with a focus on the secondary market. And honestly, I'm still trying to gauge the brevity of this ever influx market. In essence, there absolutely is a market that is spurred by demand for low cost goods, as well as by resale of unwanted new and used equipment. The PV module price index that you mentioned is our first attempt to gauge or measure the resale activity on EnergyBin among our 500 plus members who are also trading inverters, BOS material, batteries, and the like. In 2021, we saw over 745 megawatts of CSI modules for resale listed on our site. And these are panels that have fallen out of your traditional primary market, hence why we're calling them secondary market goods at this point. And that happens for a number of reasons. But essentially, these modules, 96% of them were new with warranty and 4% were used. Interestingly, I've seen an uptick this first quarter among secondhand trade on our exchange, and I wouldn't be surprised if EnergyBin sees a greater volume of secondhand material trade in 2022 over last year.
How valuable are these modules really? How right or wrong was my toaster analogy up at the top?
Actually, your toaster analogy was excellent in the sense that just like toaster ovens, we don't want to see old solar panels end up in landfills. Regarding the value, it really is dependent on a case-by-case basis. We typically see our wholesale resellers listing prices 50 to 75% below the cost of new. And just like new panels, demand affects the value of used panels. Really, right now, what I'm seeing across the global scale is an extremely high demand for that US rated secondhand material, mainly because that material is so much higher quality than some new lower rated material available for sale in some parts of the world. The value really comes down to, or the price comes down to the buyer's location. Some sellers will take into account the age of the panels, the number of bus bars, the number of cells, the labeled wattage, and the degradation rate in determining their prices. However, because no global baseline price exists, many sellers will use auction sites to attract the highest bidder for their goods. Just a note about age, we've seen panels as young as 6 months old listed for resale on EnergyBin.
Whoa.
I know, crazy, right?
Yeah.
I recommend that if any of the viewers have old solar panels lying around that you no longer want and you don't know the value, to work with a company who can inspect and appraise those panels. And we're happy to connect you to companies who specialize in these services.
So now, Eric, this is mainly what Good Sun is trying to get involved with, right? You are diverting solar panels from landfills to send them specifically to people in need. So I guess I wanted you to explain that a little bit more. To this point, how have you even gone about doing this?
I would say that Good Sun mainly advances solar projects for underserved communities, specifically other nonprofits. So that's our primary directive. In order to do that work, we need funding, obviously. So the model that we've developed is, I like to describe it very similar to Habitat for Humanity, where we operate a solar restore to resell solar panels at thrift store prices, which makes solar more accessible to low-income consumer as well, also helping us to raise money for our charitable projects. So interestingly, by the way, our biggest project this year is providing solar to over 40 Habitat for Humanity homes.
To keep following up on that, how successful have you been to this point, and how successful have you been in terms of getting panels to projects, and then how successful are those projects? Like, how much value are the recipients getting out of these older used panels?
The projects that we picked have gone very well using the upcycled solar products. Past Good Sun projects include solar for schools, homeless shelters, hospitals, orphanages, as well as disaster relief for California wildfire victims, hurricane victims, and Middle East war refugees, if you can believe it. We work primarily in the US, as that's where we're based, but we do try to include at least one international project every year. Currently, we're advancing solar installation projects in California, as well as a grassroots wildlife conservation project in Uganda that is centered around the creation of a solar-powered community hub. We've really only been in operation for just under 5 years, and the last 2 of which were largely disrupted by COVID. In that short amount of time, we've served over, it's estimated, but about 2,000 low-income families, and donated over 300,000 in funds and equipment, and diverted over 150,000 pounds roughly of solar panels away from landfill and back into needy communities. Honestly, I wish we could report numbers 10 times that, but we're still a small nonprofit just doing the best we can with the resources we have.
That's all great to hear, I think. And now enter EnergyBin into the equation. Melissa, how will EnergyBin help expand Good Sun's work here?
When it comes to secondhand material, we're all about providing people with alternatives to the landfill, whether that be through resale or donating of your still viable equipment or recycling of that end-of-life equipment. And we recognize Good Sun as an organization who can take on those donations and seamlessly redeploy them into those communities of need where solar energy can really make a big impact for those people. And oftentimes we get calls from solar asset owners or companies who have used equipment and they no longer want it, and donating looks appealing to them. In these cases, we're able to connect them to Good Sun and to begin that donation process. But beyond sending Good Sun these inquirers, we're supporting their work through ongoing marketing efforts. We just had a webinar on March 28th with Vince Lucia, Good Sun's CEO and Eric's partner, to discuss this issue and to help people see that they can really take an active role in this work. And actually that webinar recording is available on our website, EnergyBin.com, for anyone who wants to watch it on demand.
Yeah, so I guess, are there big obstacles still from your perspective here, and what are those?
I think the biggest obstacle from my perspective is getting people to think before they toss. That is, to consider the fact that these old panels with life left to give can be redeployed today to provide clean energy to someone in the world who lacks access to reliable electricity. And then to act, to take the necessary steps to resell or donate your unwanted equipment.
Wholeheartedly agree. And then Eric, last words for the solar pros and our audience today. How do they get involved? And other than the obvious reasons, is there any incentive for them to maybe consider on their end?
I would first direct anyone interested in either partnering with us or donating equipment. I would direct them to our website. There they can learn more about what we do, who we are, our team, the many benefits of a partnership, whether you're a contractor, a distributor, or even a manufacturer, and of course how to contact us. Sending us an inquiry via email is also a good option. We respond to all inquiries. Right now, our partnerships range from small contractors to large distributors and manufacturers. And we've also been lucky enough to work with NREL and the Department of Energy in the past. I would say the benefits of a partnership with us include the tax deduction on donations. Obviously, we are a 501c3. Waste management and liability cost reductions. I think that can be a huge benefit, market differentiation and added sales channels, and also enhanced sustainability.
And when you say partnership, I guess, can you explain a little bit more about like what that entails and ways to set up that partnership?
Different partners have a different relationship with us. So contractors, for example, they'll enjoy tax deduction for donations. They'll enjoy that waste management cost reduction and liability when we arrange to pick up unwanted or stranded product. Manufacturers, they'll enjoy the tax deductible donations as well, but they might not have the same job site liabilities. And then distributors, if they donate product to us, and this goes for actually any partner, any preferred partner, the closer we work with them, the more business that we will do with them. So we do advance installation projects. And if we have a preferred distributor, for example, we'll ask for product from them when we needed to buy product. Contractors, if we have a close relationship with them and we get inquiries for an installation from a client that doesn't fit our low income qualifications, we will send them to other installation contractors.
That was all I had for today. So, hey, just Melissa and Eric, thanks for taking the time to make the pitch today. And God, good work. Thanks for all the work you're doing out there.
Thanks for having us, Chris.
Thank you.